today I need to restore the 370Z's headlights and taillights because the headlights are some Chinese reproductions, and everybody knows the Chinese headlights, they get yellow. Even the factory headlights do get yellow, but the Chinese headlights always tend to get yellow faster, and sometimes they're cleared and they peel. And since I've been working on cars for so long, I've tried a bunch of different things. I used to be a firm believer in the plastic restoration and just polishing the headlights out, but eventually the headlights or whatever plastic you're doing will tend to yellow again, which is very unfortunate. Then I went and moved to clearing headlights and taillights, and it's a 50-50. Sometimes the clear will melt the plastic depending on what plastic the manufacturer uses. And if you melt a headlight when you clear it, especially if it's a customer car, you have to buy a new headlight, which is very unfortunate. So now I have been fortunate enough to work with Cerakote, and they have their plastic restoration kits. And I have talked to a bunch of people. I've used this a bunch of times. Everybody says these work great. I have had very good success using them, and they last I've had my Magnum with the headlights, multiple cars. The headlights have sat outside for probably 3 years now. No yellowing. This stuff works. It doesn't peel. It's not like clearing headlights. Sometimes when you clear headlights, even though you sand them with 1,000 or 800 grit, clear them, the clear might peel off. This stuff lasts a long time. And I'm not just saying it works because I work with Cerakote. I'm saying it works because it actually does. So we have a bunch of stuff that, you know, you don't want to waste these little pads in here. They're very nice. You can use them on a bunch of different plastic stuff. So they give you everything you need in the kit. But the ceramic clear, I think they give you 2 or 3 of these. They give you a lot of the oxidation remover because you want to get the oxidation removed. If your headlights are cleared, you're going to want to actually strip that clear down. And they also give you all of the stuff in here for sanding. They also give you gloves, and they give you a little sanding block with all the steps. So you're going to want to either do this by hand. I have a Milwaukee drill that has a sander on it. It's actually a polisher, a Milwaukee polisher, and it goes a lot faster. So if your headlights, taillights, whatever it may be is cleared, you're gonna wanna get a little bit more aggressive, but you wanna finish with the final stage that Cerakote gives you. So what I'm working with is the 370Z. I don't have matching headlights yet because I have this one Morimoto one, but the other one was broken, and this is the one that came on the car. This light really doesn't put out that much light. You can see it's dingy, the clear is peeling. I'll have to get a little bit more aggressive on sanding this because I want to get all of this faded clear. Maybe somebody went and sanded and tried to clear it. It looks like some aftermarket clear. It was probably yellowing. It's yellowing up here, the clear is peeling, so we'll have to get a little bit more aggressive than this Morimoto. I don't think Morimoto actually clears their headlights from the factory. It's just faded plastic. All the Morimoto headlights I've seen all fade like this. If you Cerakote them, it's like the cherry on top because you don't have to have headlights that look like this. I'll also do the taillights. The great thing about doing plastics with the Cerakote is it'll get rid of all these fine scratches. You can plastic polish these taillights and they'll look fine, but it also kind of prevents scratching, and it's really nice. I also have a set of 3000 GT headlights. Those are also cleared kind of similar to this, so I'll have to be a little bit more aggressive. I have a Tesla light. We have 2 Juke lights. I have 2 Charger lights. And then you can also come and do, you can see, we have this lens right here. You have to be careful when you do lenses, and you have to pull the lens and the gauge cluster apart. You can do pretty much any plastic lens that you could sand, but you can see that it has a bunch of lines and scratches from people scratching it. You know, it went through the auction. It's an auction car. I'm going to Cerakote this and clean it up and show you how nice this can look, because it will restore the old plastic gauge cluster lenses that you have in your cars, especially old JDM cars. They scratch really easily. First thing I want to do is hit this with 1000 grit until all the clear is gone. And you want all of it gone because you want it bare plastic, no clear. You can see somebody must have tried to re-clear this headlight, and it looked like maybe it started to melt the plastic. Wiped it off, and you can see this is clean plastic, sanded out 1000 grit, and then we still have some spots of clear. I was able to get that plastic where the clear kind of looked like it melted it a little bit, but we still have a lot of clear up through here, and you're gonna want to get all that stuff off so it's nice and fresh and clean. You know, pretty fast once all the clear is gone, it kind of mats out and looks nice. It looks just like plastic. I'm gonna have all the oxidation removed. I don't really think red oxidizes, but they do look a lot cleaner. There's some black stuff that was coming off of them. I already sanded and cleaned the Tessellite, but I still wiped it down again. The Morimoto was pretty much a lot of oxidation was coming off of it, and it just kept coming off. This light, it was sanded down. Some oxidation came off of it. And the Ford light, not much came off of it. It's pretty clear in the first place, but I think Ford's plastic stays clear for a lot longer than all this aftermarket stuff. This is literally the best part. You just come in. This is, every time I do this, it's so crazy. It's such a thin layer. When you're clearing these headlights, you always put a decent amount of clear on, and this stuff is so thin. But man, it lasts forever. Want to make sure you get the whole light. Make sure you don't miss any spots. Miss any spots in your excitement. It's just crazy how well this stuff works. I was so skeptical the first time I used it. And now that I've used it, and seeing how long it lasts, it almost lasts forever. You want to do nice, even strokes. I try to get the edges too, so everything looks nice and OEM. If you miss a spot, make sure when you go back over it, oh, I don't know if this is 100% true, but I like to go all the way back over it. These just had like a lot of contours to them. man, those taillights look amazing now. Jeez. This is why I do a bunch of these at the same time, because you have so much in this rag that they give you. You don't want to just do like 2 headlights. Let's make them brand new again. Well, it's starting to dry out on that side. Flip it over. To do this one. All the headlights and taillights and lenses are now done, and these look totally different from before. I mean, I love this Cerakote headlight restoration kit because it makes all this stuff look brand new. And I wasn't 100% sure if I should do the taillights, but they look better than new. And then I came and I wanted to clean up one of these S13 gauge cluster lenses. And man, these things are always grimy. They always have scratches. The cars are, 25 plus years old, and it looks like a brand new lens. I also got these Juke headlights done. The 3000 GT headlights, they look so much better than they did before. And I could have kept sanding these. These were just totally destroyed. I mean, you can see all these fine, I don't know if you can see in the camera, it just looks like haze. You can see how it looks like haze. Those are all just like super fine scratches. You could plastic polish it out, but at the same time, it's not really worth doing when you could just do this and then the lights. I mean, it's a night and day difference. You can see how clear they are. See how all the lines are nice and sharp? Same thing with the headlights. I think I missed some clear though right here. There's still a little bit of clear, I guess, but I'm not too worried about it. That headlight really isn't the best headlight. It doesn't even put out that much light. So eventually I'll probably end up getting another set of headlights, or maybe find a driver's side Morimoto headlight. But for now, I'll just throw these on to get the car back together. As I have been working on the Z and trying to fix things as I find them, these quarter glass pieces of trim, they were no exception. The guy siliconed them on. This one was actually broken. The other side, since this one was siliconed on, I decided to pull it, and it was also siliconed on. So I pulled all the silicone off. Took actually like 2 hours to get all this stuff off of here because it's glued on pretty good. But the Nismo had these pieces. They are in carbon fiber instead of just being black. I would rather have them in black. And a reason I thought it would be a good time to replace the quarter glass trim is because I needed to replace this. So when the wheel fell off the car, I found the guy's Instagram account. When the wheel fell off the car, it ripped this fender up and it actually broke this piece. Well, the Nismo had this, and the Nismo was black. The thing about these pieces of trim right here, this one's actually broken, but I feel like a lot of people are afraid of just pulling them off. I see a lot of YouTube videos because I looked how they came off before I pulled the Nismo one off. There's screws in here, and really all you have to do is pull it up and not be afraid. I think a lot of people get afraid of breaking this because they break and they're so brittle and they're so expensive. They're like $600 for a new one. And then when you come down here, you just pull it off here. This was already broken, so it really didn't matter. But then all of the clips are still intact, and you don't break any of these off. If you go in there and try to pry with a pry tool, you're one, most likely going to damage your paint, and two, you're probably gonna break that clip. If you just go with a fast motion in 2 spots on this upper piece and pull it quick, and then do the same thing here, but when you're pulling this one, you also have to come up, or once you get to this pin right here, you want to slide it back. So this one is actually needs to come up, or you could come once you get that last one up and you could just slide it off of that tab instead of pulling it off of here. This Nismo one isn't perfect. So it already was missing tabs. Somebody had previously removed it, and then down here, this one was broken. Obviously, I know I didn't break that because I left the clip in there and I slid it off. So that being said, just go and grab them and give them a yank. The tabs that are in here aren't that aggressive. I'm probably gonna actually wipe all this stuff down really quick. Yeah, this fender is pretty bad. Sure, I'm gonna have to fix some of the fender mounting. I think this is pulled up. I think it needs to come down. This one is all twisted. The good thing is it doesn't look like it messed any of this up. Usually when a wheel falls off, it pretty much just smashes all that. So now you just kind of line it up. And this one doesn't have all the clips anyway, so, but it's not broken. I'll worry about it later. For now, at least we won't have broken ones. Oh yeah, look at that. Nice, at least there won't be broken ones in here anymore. And they always start peeling on the edges. Oh man, the whole, oh, this one must be broke too. Dang it. This is what happens when people wrap cars and then they don't know how to take them apart or put them back together. They break everything. Oh. Yeah, it doesn't have a clip in the back. This is some thick wrap. I guess the paint really isn't that nice. It doesn't appear to be that nice. Z is now looking a lot better now that it has a headlight, and they're not matching headlights, but at least they're clear. I need to do something about this front bumper. Also, it's nice to have a good fender on the passenger side, and now I can see that the offset is perfect, which is nice. And then I have the new Morimoto emblem on this side. I can't figure out what I did with the other one. I had to adjust all these brackets because when the wheel fell off, though it didn't fall off on me, but when the wheel fell off on the guy, it pretty much just popped off and then ripped the fender up. So all these mounts were all out of whack. So I had to readjust them so all the gaps are like factory all the way down. I didn't want it to be sticking out. It was kind of a pain to get this one to get back in, but I was able to handle that and get it all perfect. The other thing, I was going to throw the rear hatch from the Nismo on here, but it's such a process on these cars to do that. So I might just leave this hatch on here for now because I really don't want to have to pull all that trim on the side to be able to get to the hatch plug. I probably should have looked at that before I threw and put the whole interior back together. This wing isn't that bad. The other wing looks a little bit better. The other wing's a little bit heavier, so maybe that will be my justification for not doing it. But other than that, wheels, fender, I put the carbon fiber hood on there. I really like that the Z is coming together. It's looking way better than it did before. Another thing, the Cerakote ceramic headlight restoration kits. I mean, you guys saw how nasty this headlight was before I did it. It's just crazy how well the kits work. I also did my Magnum, the red car. The original headlights in that car that was in the other red Magnum, the Scat Pack swapped the red Magnum, and those have been Cerakoted with this stuff for, I believe, 4 years or maybe 3 years, something like that. And they sat outside for a good 2 years just baking in the Colorado sun, and they didn't fade or do anything. They look exactly like this. Like, you pretty much only have to do it once. It's awesome. So besides that, I'll need to figure out what I'm going to do about this bumper. You know, it's just a ratty bumper. And other than that, I mean, it's just really nice that this car, I need to pull the wrap off of it. I think the paint is just going to be disgusting underneath of it. So I need to figure that out, find that Z emblem, and just kind of fix her as I go, and probably end up sanding this roof down and just doing it in like a gunmetal or a nice gloss black, and then pull all the wrap off of here.